faded, and taupey. With three greens that are continuing to gain in importance season after season: natural greens and khaki that look lifted from soft landscapes with a grayish winter cast. Mauves and pinkish shades with familiar and sophisticated accents, compliant midtones treated as new grays, and saturated colors to work together that fuse and create soft horizon and also harmonize in reassuring tone on tones. Or, like you can see here, in monotone variations. This season, the color range is a balance of bracingly rich shades and compliant ones. These colors throw up new bridges between the different fashion universes. Now let's turn to some of our favorite directions this season. We realize that today, color choices go beyond the collection's narrative choices. Today, colors reveal choices about the manufacturing process and are an integral part of each brand's DNA. So this season, we felt it was important to focus attention on these precisely colored harmonies, the kind that truly mark a season and anchor fashion in an era. Our color choices are no longer organized by market, and this reflects a growing tendency to break down categories and open up creative possibilities through collaborations to meet the needs of a changing market. So the harmonies chosen here are specific recipes, guiding principles to elaborate your own harmonies for the different markets and universes in the autumn-winter 22-23. Now let's look at these harmonies. An autumn-winter with exclusive colorways that reflect the season's inclinations and message, including colors with a sober and luxurious shine and luminosity, comfortable and warm association, multicolor harmonies to powerfully energize a very colorful winter. The Autumn-Winter 22-23 collections combine quality and authenticity with a sumptuous touch. There is a need for a certain trust in materials, with creative products that reveal their essence right down to their colors. We bet on familiar values, such as gold, a material that never loses its value. Its metallizations and shines are embodied in a sophisticated way. Of course it's gold, it shines, but this season it isn't quite as flashy and is treated with subtlety. Gold shades are muted and aged, and ornamental references are simplified in contemporary interpretations. We will start with metallics that evoke the sumptuousness of materials. Raw coppers, bronze, and golds offer a range of textures in pale, hammered or patinated shades with aged and mellow shines. In a fantasy vein, these delicately precious golden shades warm up silkies, knits, and laces in a sumptuous brocade spirit. But above all, shine is interpreted simply in a casual spirit and infuses the entire wardrobe. Shine is found on the surface with light coatings and uniform scrapings for chic city silhouettes with chinos with bronze reflections, patinated loafers and ankle boots, or chunky sweaters with coated yarns. Soft combinations, right down to accessories that reference antique jewelry with an unevenly precious look on buckles and buttons, for example, to punctuate everyday parkas, jeans, and peacoats. These golden accents are softened by combination with the season pastel, yellow, pink, icy blue, to avoid a flashy look. This effect is accentuated by the use of irregular yarns or by raw applique on rustic grounds, for example, linen, hemp, or felted wool grounds. In decoration, we see embroideries and brocades with cold metallic yarns and recolored applique patches, trimmings, and laces. These tonalities lend a dreamy aspect to glamorous evening looks, strass and sequins, where iridescent sheens are more delicate, for a style updated with a certain naivete. This season is also expressed in cold metallics, grey blues and silver, which intensify the magnetic look of the patterns. All-over coatings reform rustic woolens for jackets and short coats with a futuristic dimension. In terms of decoration, these harmonies are emphasized by contrasting and intensified shadows. They recall the solarized effect of photo negatives, a faux black and white, which is especially interesting for menswear and outdoors, which are gradually embracing more and more fantasy. In leather, we see these shadowy nuances worked in texture, on grain leathers with a cool pearly effect, cloudy effects for large supple toes, and comfy loafers. In contrast to these luminous colds, the metallics we see here combined with dark grow more sophisticated. Golden, coppery browns, and the signal orange are worked in duos with deep darks that mute reflections. These are harmonies which can be worked across larger volumes encompassing the entire silhouette. Weaves incorporate subtle variations, magnifying the luxurious quality of suitings, technical synthetics, and denser cottons for coats and ensembles. And in high-end versions for leather parkas and blouson, these two tones are especially revealed by exaggeratedly worn and patinated effects on light qualities, including fine calf and lamb skins. Our second color direction reflects this season's need for comfort. As we begin to move past the recent challenges, a need for reassurance for familiar references remains essential in order to move forward and create with self-assured confidence. This season's harmonies illustrate this atmosphere with a no-frill casual universe founded on the qualities of natural materials. The raw, natural colors of wools, skins, and plant fibers, from brown to ecru's, beige, and grayish tones, lend collection and authenticity. When combined, these shades modulate surfaces with irregularities. Sheens and peelings lend variety to plains, giving them a salt and pepper look, which is developed right down to accessory details for textile, trims, ribbons, and cords. Browns are the season's new classics. They are deep, comfortable, worked in different tones, furs, earths, chocolates, woods. Browns are essential and pragmatic. They are a good alternative to navy and black for suitings and cozy winter jersey, and they can also be worked with elegant reflections on satins and silks. And of course, in leather. Browns offer a whole game of tones to underline the difference and singularity of various skins. Browns combine with blues in varying degrees of intensity, forming an iconic duo for this autumn-winter. This is a subtle combination, particularly in the sports universes, which takes more of a concrete, tangible approach than a digitized or virtual one. For increasingly popular outdoor sports, technical items, including fashion windbreakers and down jackets, achieve a new level of style and sophistication in the collections. In knits, browns are used in tracksuits, highlighting the intrinsic technical features of natural fibers such as heat-regulating wools. A preference for the colorways of graphic print patterns with large, rounded, flat tints and fantasy paddings. These combinations can be transposed into accessories on technical fabrics for backpacks, hats, and even moon boots. In more feminine tonalities, reddish and orangey brights teamed with browns to create sensual trios. Browns form a backdrop for floral and abstract prints set off by pale and bright shades. These harmonies manifest a sense of well-being with dense, creamy handles for second skin jersey and heavy, shiny stretch knits with a dynamic comfort for form-fitting dresses. Fantasy developments inspired by makeup lend a sex appeal to leather accessories. For clutches, structured pavé bags, thigh-high boots with glossy finishings, transparent shines, and micro sequin surfaces. This season appeals to a sense of familiarity and a desire for a certain restraint. In colors, these translate to subdued harmonies, low contrast combinations that are built around calm tones such as the colored grays in our range. Here, these unsaturated grayish hues are combined with warm accents of yellow, orange, and metallics in flat tints for details or cutouts. These warm, cool associations shift the balance and update mid-season casual overshirts, chinos, trench coats, and parkas, inspired by a functional aesthetic, impeccable workwear with practical shapes and sustainable materials. Tones to explore in accessories as well, in matte Saffiano leather for structured city totes, clutches, and small leather goods. These moderate shades are also developed in multicolor variations. In mid and monochrome tonalities, avoiding the differing intensities created by brights and darks. Colors alternate on wide city stripes that lend a chicly elegant note to this functional universe. Here, yarns are textured, thrown, and knobbed for knits and loose blouses, in supple and fluid qualities for a very relaxed unisex look. Worked in crescendo, these moderate tonalities are rhythmically added together, alternating grayish natural shades and colorful notes for a proposal that give a refreshed color-woven patterns and electrify sweater and polo knits with a retro vibe. Our third Autumn-Winter 22-23 direction champions the power of color and its positive energy. Here, the focus is on bright colorways that are a catalyst for fantasy. Colors are combined to foster a powerful, vigorous momentum in designs, a desire for self-expression, to confirm one's uniqueness in silhouettes and pieces with a striking high-impact look for all markets and product categories. This positive energy is found in a dynamic arrangement of color blocks. bright combinations for clear-cut visuals, bold graphics in a free spirit of spontaneous collage, an influence that derives from the sports world and is now transposed into more precious fabrics version with textured effects that underline high-impact contrasts. On-embossed or cut-yarn jacquards for new hybrids of glamour and technical performance. Worked in sharp graphic contrast, brights invigorate grayish tones. Here, the colorful contrast is enriched by plays on textures, with semi-plains, chine, brushed cottons, and coated surfaces in grayish tones and shiny, satiny, or even airy brights. Surprise effects in knits, with bright macro jacquards with satin stripes in casual items, in coats, with double faces, which remain important this winter, punched up by a confident, quite visible fantasy. Colors are freely juxtaposed to update check proportions and recolor new tartans by mixing all the tones found in the range. Pigments are worked starting with the fabric's construction, the weaving of the yarns, generating highly elaborated vibrations for all the checks and madras that are so important this season in tailoring fabrics, shirtings, woolens, and in leather, where we find macro braidings. In accessories, thick and iconic chains alternate materials and colors to create a playful and offbeat cross of universes on bags and belts. In leather, braids of varying, mostly macro, width smartly optimized production for small leather goods and structured bags to add character to the latest it bags. We will close this talk with one of the season's key principles, color emerging from the shadows, a fusion of brights and darks with powerful blurs. A hypnotic rendering where designs grow hazy and visuals are effaced by blurred effects, reminiscent of a photograph where a stopped motion effect distorts the subject. Contours blur and grow fuzzy in a mysterious atmosphere with gradations, shifts, cloudy patterns, and multicolored shines intensified by ambiguous light contrasts. These effects are heightened by texture, for example, brushed finishings, floating cut yarn jacquards, and exaggeratedly long fringes. Here, the tonalities are dazzling, bringing an intensity to darkness, enriching darks with intriguing pigmentations. As you will see later, this direction is elaborated in more detail in our product focus with blurry design and surfaces transformed by color. To conclude our analysis of the Autumn-Winter 22-23 color highlights, I want to single out 3 particular combinations to keep in mind. First, a focus on the key color for next autumn-winter, orange. Stemming from the reds of last winter, orange starting taking its place in Spring-Summer 22. This season, it's a favorite color choice, lending an energetic, vitamin-powered boost to plains and harmonies. It can be used to add a signaling accent to stripes and checks, in trimmings to emphasize structures and silhouettes, even in shoe sole as a way to catch the eye. Next, interplays of lights and darks that are composed in color to update black and whites and lend the season a dreamy dimension. Shadows transform into colorful and invigorating lights. They offer a high-impact chromatic dialogue and a mystical fascination for combinations in decoration, with vivid rays slipping into patterned contours or into the wefts and the finishings of planes. Lastly, this is a particularly colorful season that is searching for surprise, for the unexpected. The latest creations showcase colors in intense shades. In planes, color differentiates in both large and small items. It can be developed in texture, with shines and surprising contrasts, avoiding too tame tone-on-tones. And in a multicolored vein too, by combining colors with an absolutely free hand without holding back. You can find all this season's exclusive colors by purchasing the Autumn-Winter 22-23 color range on our website, along with a decoding of its harmonies and the season's highlights. And in the meantime, you can keep up with us on social media and our website. We wish you all excellent collection. Thank you.